everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and my buddy Martin decided to come back over and do another beer review with me. How's it going, Martin?
Good. How are you doing, Mark?
You know, it's good to have you back over, and see, I told you it was painless to come over and drink some beer.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, and so tonight we're going to get a little monk-like. We're going to be opening a beer that one of my viewers, I mentioned him before, his name's Kelly, he lives up in Minneapolis. You know a thing or two about Minneapolis, don't you?
I do know a thing or two about Minneapolis. I'm from the area, got a lot of good beers up there, and so, looking forward to enjoying another good one with you tonight.
Awesome. I bet Minneapolis is probably a little bit warmer than Kansas City this time of year. I mean, what is it, like 22 below outside? It's
What's up with this weather, Mark? If I wanted this weather, I could have stayed in Minneapolis. We didn't move down here for this.
It's horrible, but so anyway, we're gonna drink a beer tonight by a brewery called 21st Amendment. They are from San Francisco. Now the couple that owns this brewery, they made a trip to San Francisco, or I'm sorry, they're from San Francisco. They made a trip over to Belgium to tour some of the breweries over there and the monasteries. Like West Vleteren and things like that, just to kind of get an idea of how they brew their beers. This one is actually a quadruple. It's an Abbey quadruple, but it's somewhat of an homage to that process and an homage to the fact that monks will actually take a period of time every year where they fast and they just drink beer. And I mean, I wouldn't say I've necessarily ever gone that far to do it, for an extended period of time, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do, I should have done it, at the end of this year. We've been cooped up in this house for, God, it seems like a month, but, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open this one. There's no cap to bust on this one because, again, it's in a can, and I do want to give a shout out to Kelly. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the fact that you were able to pick up these beers for me. But let's go ahead and open it and get to drinking some beer. All right. So I'm just going to pour it straight in there. Go ahead and stop there. Now this is only a 12-ounce can, so we'll kind of, oh hell, let's just go ahead and dump it all in there.
Go for it.
Knock it out. So this is the 21st Amendment, Monk's Blood. And let's give her a spin. Let's get our nose in there and kind of see what's going on inside the glass. So what do you smell off the bat?
I smell, like some of those fruits, like dates, raisins.
Lots of raisins in there, yeah.
Things like that.
I almost get like some dark Bing cherries in there. I don't know. Do you kind of get some of that Bing cherry? There's something like dark red fruit in there, and I wouldn't say berries. Like I don't get raspberries or anything like that. But like Bing cherries, definitely get a lot of raisins. It clearly smells like a quadruple should smell. It's got that sort of caramely undertone as well. I get a touch of hop in there. I'm not saying the type of hop that would be, used for like a floral component, but one that more has kind of a, like the bittering qualities that hops can put in there. So, what's interesting to me about the nose right off the bat, though, and I'm not sure if you're picking this up, is that I almost, and I always, kind of am afraid when pouring these types of beers out of a can that I'm going to taste some of the aluminum in there. I wouldn't say that I smell aluminum, but it kind of has that sort of, I guess it smells kind of like aluminum.
Yeah, there's really no other way to put it. You kind of, get that aluminum smell with it, so.
Well, let's go ahead and try it and see, the smell of a beer is always a little bit different than the taste of a beer, so let's go ahead and taste it and see what we get. Definitely some tartness. Like I really get a lot of, and I know that they don't talk about cherries a lot in this, but it really kind of gives me the same sort of feeling that I would get from, like, tart cherries.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I can taste that in there.
Getting the prunes, getting lots of raisins. When I think about like You know, I don't eat raisins a lot, I'll be honest with you. I think they're gross. But, you know, I have them occasionally. My daughters like to eat them. I don't know about your kids. If they
Kids
like
love the raisins.
They do love the raisins. So I eat them every once in a while. And, you know, raisins kind of have that, you know, they're gummy and they're chewy, but they have that sort of like subtle tartness. And that's really kind of one of the main components that I'm getting out of this beer is that raisiny sort of tartness. Getting anything else good out of there? Like any? I do taste, actually on that last sip I got a little bit of the cinnamon. They do say on the can, they say that it's a Belgian style dark ale brewed with cinnamon, vanilla, oak chips, and dried figs.
Yeah, I would say there's a hint of cinnamon. You can kind of get it at the end of it.
Like
you know,
way
in the back and right at the end.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of vanilla though, to be honest with you. I don't know, maybe a little bit in the mouth feel, you know, like I always imagine vanilla being this sort of like texture more than a flavor. It's more of like air, you know.
More like the aroma.
The aroma of vanilla, yeah, more than the actual taste of vanilla. But you know, on that sip too, and guys, I can't stress this enough. This is why it's really nice to let your beers sit out for a little bit. Take your time, you know, drinking the beer. It really does. When you start talking about these more complex beers, you know, they do tend to change. They change aroma, they change taste. And on that last one, I really kind of started to get that sort of grape bubblegum sort of component that I get from a lot of the Abbey Quadrupels. Let's taste it again. Tell me if you get that sort of bubblegum, you know, taste out of there. And if you don't, you don't. I'm not trying to, you know, persuade you in any way.
I'm not really tasting that, to be honest
no
with
grape?
you.
Okay.
No, but I think you made a good point, though, before. You need to open it up, kind of let it kind of open up like a good wine, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of open it up after you open up the bottle, and you kind of get the flavor and the aroma coming out of the beer.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing about a lot of these higher alcohol beers is that, you know, you really kind of need to pull them out of the refrigerator. And you know, usually what I'll do is pull them out about 15-20 minutes before I'm going to do one of these sessions. And then, you know, I've noticed that, you know, I'll review this, and these reviews are only, what, maybe 10 minutes long. If I'm drinking by myself, which, hey, you know, I'm glad you're over here drinking beer with me. I really hate drinking by myself. But as these beers start to warm up and get closer to room temperature, sometimes you can reflect back on, you know, 15-20 minutes ago of what you were getting out of a beer, and sometimes it can be completely different. So I think that's one of the rewarding elements of drinking these kinds of beers is that, you know, it's not just so one-dimensional like your, you know, maybe your lagers or your wheat beers or, you know, things of that nature. So, well, I wish I had more to pour. You know, I do have one little can left upstairs, but hey, you know what? I'm a trader, so I like to keep one or two rare, you know, cans, and, you know, monk's blood is not the easiest thing to get a hold of these days, so I think I'll hang on to those two. But yeah, you know, I think it's a really good beer. To be honest with you, you know, when we were talking about the aroma and how it kind of smelled like aluminum, I don't get it as much on the palate as I thought I would, so that's a good thing. But I actually enjoy this beer quite a bit. I'd say for me it's probably, I don't know, 91, 92 point beer, so it's really good. So Kelly, you know, thanks a lot for the beer. Martin, thanks a lot for coming over and enjoying it with me. And again, I'll give you my speech. If you're following me on Twitter, you can go to twitter.com/thehopry or my website, which is thehopry.com. And I guess we'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot. Cheers.